Hey guys, it's Jeremy. Come back at you again with another amazing YouTube video, and today is going to be like a quick little video. So, lately, I've been thinking the same thing, but I don't think it's going to happen, but there's been like this controversy for a little bit ever since we learned that Negan's going to be in the season, that the last episode won't end with a death. It'll end in a cliffhanger. Now, I honestly do not think it will end in a cliffhanger, but what people think is either he'll sit them all down and he'll pick somebody and we'll know who it is, but he won't kill them, which doesn't make any sense. Or he'll line up the people, but he'll say, like, I don't know, whatever he says in the comic when he chooses somebody, maybe just you. But like other people think that he'll just pick somebody and say you, but we won't know who it is until the next season. Now, I honestly think this will not happen because, firstly, the episode of this season is the same exact name as a comic where, spoiler alert, Glenn dies. Negan beats his head in, and that's actually gonna be really hard to see on TV for some people. It doesn't really bother me anymore, but it wouldn't make any sense, and I don't see how it would be possible for them to prolong a death like that, because how are they going to start an entire episode off with just someone dying? Like, it doesn't really work. That wouldn't work. Just starting an episode off with somebody dying, where are you going to go from there? It makes more sense for the last episode of a season to end with such a significant death. It will not work in a way where they save it for the next season. It just can't work, because it kind of downgrades everything else that will happen in that episode. You'll still be affected by that death, so everything else in that episode will seem insignificant. It just can't work. There's not much more I can explain about it, because I don't think they've done it before. I don't think they've started an episode off with such a major character dying. Now, but yeah, they can't end it in a cliffhanger. It won't work, so don't worry about it. Now, I'm going to also talk about the controversy between who Negan will kill. Now, I explained this in my other video. It was where Daryl got shot, but I honestly 100% think, and for any of you people that can hear, that's my chair. That is not me. So, yeah. So, there's controversy over who Negan will kill. So, everything that we know from the promos and everything we know that's happened, Glenn and Michonne have been captured. I'm not sure how they would get to Negan, but I think they are going to be at Negan's. Daryl was shot. He wasn't killed. He was shot in the shoulder. Now, they had to do this because there was no other way they could have like shut him down, because Daryl does not give up. He can't just give up after a while. He's mad. He was going out there to kill Dwight, and Dwight knew that, so he had to shoot Daryl. But I don't know what that means. Well, I kind of do that. I don't know if Dwight will bring Daryl to Negan's, because if he does, then I think Daryl will die. But in the promo, it looks like at a certain point that Rick and Abraham are carrying something. Now, that could be Daryl, but it could also be like Eugene or Sasha. Because when they first got out of the vehicle, or when you first see like the promo, there's Aaron's with them, Sasha's with them, Eugene is with them, Carl, and Abraham. And I think someone else that I'm just not remembering. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Now that Daryl's been shot, in the comic books, if you read it, there's a whole entire thing with a different character in Dwight. So I'm not going to really go into detail of that, because that would take a little bit. But like, I think that they're setting up something for Daryl and Dwight, and it will go on to season 7, possibly ending or the end of the character Daryl. Now, he is a disposable character because he's not in the comic, and they don't have to have his death set in a certain place. But if they don't kill Glenn, they have to incorporate a whole entire created new story for him. Maybe he could take the place of a different character. I don't know, but I the odds of them killing somebody else in Glenn, I think, are low because they have to kill an A character. It can't be a B or a C. It has to be an A character, or the effect of Negan or who the effect of Negan or who Negan really is won't be felt. So it has to be an A character, and the only A characters that I feel, well, the only A characters there really are our main survivors, and I'm not sure if I'm not sure what Abraham, Aaron, Sasha, I don't know what they would Eugene, I don't know what they would be considered. And Tara, I forgot about her. I don't know what they would be considered. They're like borderline B and A. They're borderline, but the more important, like, they're just not as important as Glenn, because I honestly, it has to be somebody who's been around since season 1 or Atlanta, because other than that, like, honestly, we do not have as much of a feeling for Abraham, Sasha, whatever. You may have it, but a lot of people just don't have the same feeling that they do with Glenn, because Glenn has been around for such a long time. But he has to kill an A character, and the only A characters are Glenn, Carol, Daryl, Rick, Carl, and possibly all those other people I talked about. Oh yeah, and Morgan. So the only problem is Rick and Carl, they're safe. They cannot be killed, or maybe they can, but most likely they cannot be killed. They're too important. Their character development is still going. Rick is basically he drives the television show, but so they're safe. Now, Carol and Morgan, Carol cannot be killed because she is away, and Morgan is going along with Carol, possibly to discover another community. Rick and Morgan came across this guy in a barn, and there's been talk that this could possibly be from the Kingdom. I haven't read the comic books, so I'm not so sure about Kingdom, but I think Ezekiel, which is an extremely important character, I think that he carries around a tiger with him, and apparently him and Jesus is homosexual in the comic book. I'm not sure if he is in the TV, but I think him and Jesus were like together or something. I don't know, but yeah, Carol and Morgan, they are off, and there's a storyline developing between them that pretty much excludes them from Lucille's list. And also, along with Daryl being shot and Dwight, it kind of excludes them from Lucille's list as well. Now, that just leaves Glenn and Abraham. Now, Abraham is with Rick and Carl in the beginning, but Rick gets captured. Abraham gets captured along with Rick, because you could see him when they're carrying that body. Just the light flashes on, and Negan captures him. So it could possibly be Abraham. But that just really narrows it down to Abraham or Glenn, and it could possibly Daryl. Dwight might take Daryl to Negan, but honestly, I really, really, really think that it's going to be Glenn. Evidence sort of shows it. I just really think it's going to be Glenn. It'll have such a huge effect. It'll show the true kind of person Negan is. It'll set the whole tone for the next season, because Negan is really bad. He's going to last a very long time. The Governor lasts about a season and a half. Negan's going to last longer. He's a lot worse than the Governor, a lot more ruthless. His entire community of people is a lot more ruthless. Like the Governor, he was a leader to his people that followed what he said, but they were still good people. They didn't know what they were getting into. But Negan, he's truly a terrible person. The community is as well. But so, yeah, that kind of closes. I really think it's going to be Glenn, and that also closes that the controversy between it being a cliffhanger. So my answers are: I don't think it's going to be a cliffhanger, and I don't think anybody else is going to get killed. I think it's just going to be Glenn. Now, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want more of these. I'm going to start putting out more Walking Dead content on my channel, because apparently a lot of people like it, because it's a lot more popular than my most recent videos. But I also will be putting out gaming videos, because I can't get away from my roots. I love playing video games and watching The Walking Dead. So hopefully you enjoyed. Comment. I want to know what you think. If you know anything I don't know. Try not to post spoilers, because there are people who have like pictures from the set and all that stuff, or they just have inside information, whatever. But just try not to post that kind of stuff, and if you do, put a spoiler warning, because honestly, I don't want to know. I want to be surprised. I want to feel the full effect of what happens in this next episode. So hopefully you enjoy, comment, whatever, subscribe if you want more, and I hope to see you next time.